Film Diet Podcast.
And it was just sequel after sequel after sequel.
There was no character development at all.
Just that on pure technical levels.
There are filmmakers that don't want it just to be an entertainment experience.
Hello and welcome to Media Academy Online. I'm Brandon and he's Dana.
Hello, welcome back.
Episode 29, did I say that?
No, 29. That's what
29,
It's
nearly
been a
at
while.
30.
We had a little couple of weeks there break.
We did.
We were planning, coming up with new concepts for both our podcast, but also our YouTube. Speaking of that, Brandon, you got something new?
I do. Brandon recommends the new series where I'm talking about films even more, but more condensed.
Yeah, this was a fun one. We sort of came together for this and had an edit session.
A creative jam.
We just were like, let's do it.
And just bang, bang, bang.
Boom.
Threw it together and it's out there in the wild now. Creating babies.
Yes, creating babies.
So, the word on everyone's mind at the moment, coronavirus.
Corona, the beer flu.
Yeah. So, like, we had a little discussion and thought, well, it's probably a good time to rewatch some of those films that cover this subject.
It's a topic that it's so distant, and up until now, it's, things talking about diseases and pandemics and epidemics and all that stuff is so distant. It's something that's shaped mankind in big ways, but hasn't really done it in such a huge way
In the modern times?
Yeah, in the modern times, in the last century or so. We've got little ones that pop up.
Bird flu, SARS,
that's it,
etc.
Swine flu, all of those.
Yeah. They're here and then they're kind of gone.
Yeah. And
without massive ramifications.
Yeah.
But now we're entering absolute pandemonium and hysteria.
Yeah.
Toilet paper, canned goods, all those long life milks.
That's right.
All off the shelf in every supermarket.
It's crazy. When you walk into our shopping centres here in Australia, no toilet paper. Even the expensive toilet papers, nothing. It's
gone.
Just empty
No
aisles.
tissues. It's all getting to that point now where people are fighting over it. You see on the news, people are fighting over toilet paper.
There's videos on Facebook where they're punching each other over toilet paper, and it's just, come on.
Shit's getting crazy.
Anyway, so we had a discussion.
Yep.
We thought, all right, well, maybe we should look into some of these movies that touch on this subject.
So we're going to be talking about Contagion, 28 Days Later, and Outbreak.
Yeah.
3 films that are quite different from each other.
Yeah.
For different reasons.
Yeah, and these are broken into different podcasts, so we're going to focus on the first one today, which is...
Contagion.
Contagion.
Yes.
Contagion.
Steven Soderbergh. The other Berg, not Spielberg. The Soderbergh.
Soderbergh.
Yeah.
The one that makes you think of Coke.
Yeah, exactly. He's a bit more sugary. But anyway, Soderbergh is an awesome director. I'm going to try and get through this quickly.
Yep.
He's an awesome director. He's done a wide body of work from the 90s to now.
Yep.
He's done large budgeted films from the Ocean's trilogy to smaller films like Haywire.
Yeah.
The Candelabra. The list goes on and on. Logan Lucky's a newer one, but he's always had star power, big stars attached to pretty much every one of his films. He's just got a cool little niche that he operates in.
He's really interesting because he's unafraid.
Yes.
He just does what he wants to do. He's just like, oh, I got this idea. Well, let's give it a crack. Do I have money? No. I'll do it anyway.
Yeah. I don't know how anyway, he's an artist, he's one of those guys. He's almost like from the 90s, those directors like the Coen brothers and guys that just make a name for themselves and they can just kind of live off, I don't know. It just seems that way. Like they just kind of got a name and then they got a project, they get people attached to it and away they go. Big, small, whatever. This one is more of a bigger film because it's dealing with stars and the subject. We've got Jude Law, Gwyneth Paltrow, Matt Damon, Lawrence Fishburne.
It's an interesting film because it's almost like a series of short films that all live in a larger film. It's that kind of idea is something that we've done in Australia where you've got a series of short films, and here in Australia they might be done by different directors. And then they'll chop them up into like
like an anthology thing.
Yeah.
And then there's also like the movie Crash, and like there's a few other films like that. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. Anyway, even Traffic, when he did Traffic, you're dealing with a lot of different characters that kind of overlap.
Yeah.
And then eventually, like, the theme of the film or whatever it is what kind of combines all these stories together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's very different to what you'd normally expect with a Hollywood film because it doesn't use those typical traits that you expect from Hollywood, or those typical story arcs.
The beginning, middle, end.
Yeah, the normal
structure
that you'd follow with a film doesn't follow that, and it's fine because with the subject matter, it follows. It's perfect for it.
There's no villain.
Yeah.
There's no good guy.
Yeah.
Really.
Even when we watch this film, we're not necessarily following the people, even though we are kind of. But the one thing we're following the whole time is the disease.
Yes.
That's really what we're following.
Situation, the way it's panning out with the disease and how it's affecting the world. And it's scary. It's scary.
Yeah.
Watching it this time around.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking, oh shit, this is actually very, very reminiscent of what's happening right now, and this film is basically what is happening at the moment.
It's probably the most realistic film, and the one that rings true out of all of the pandemic films that have been created. This one has really followed it, and there is none of those stupid Hollywood moments in it. It is just real. Yeah,
it's just kind of brutal truths, and there's no sugarcoating or nothing really.
And it's even just the bright yellow that is drenched in every single frame of this film adds to that. It gives you that feeling that you're inside a lab and you just lights
emergency. It's kind of got this kind of emergency, almost like quarantine. It's that quarantine kind of feel.
It gives a new context to everything in this film.
Like that yellow tape, caution, warning, beware.
So yellow and black.
Caution. So what's your favourite moment in this film?
Yeah, so if we start breaking it down, so Matt Damon. So if we think, I think this is one of his best performances he's given.
Even just that one scene
at the beginning.
That one moment where he finds out about his wife.
Yeah, and he's like, they tell him that his wife is dead, and he just can't accept it. His brain won't let him accept it. Where they're like, she's dead, and he's like, okay, can I go and speak to her? Can I go in and speak to her? And they're like, no, she's dead. Yeah, no worries. I'll go and speak to her right now. And it's just he can't accept it. And they're trying to explain it to him,
and the way it just escalates. He's just like, where is she?
Yeah,
and it's just like, whoa.
And it's just so interesting to play with the psychology of people in that way, where we all just imagine they're dead. Oh no! And crying and
this
stuff.
Big Academy Award moment where it's like, oh.
But really, it's different for everyone, and it's interesting to explore that. That for some people it is. They just have this wall in their mind that
which
just
is
shuts.
More than normal than not. Yeah. That is the way that most we do handle.
You'd feel numb more than
you do.
Usually you feel numb and it doesn't sink in for like a while.
Absolutely. Losing a parent or whatever, a loved one of any of any kind. It's just you go into survival mode. Your brain goes into survival, and it's very hard to kind of just come to terms with that straight away.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work that way, and your brain doesn't process stuff that way quickly.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing I really admire about that one moment in this film. Take anything away from the film, that's it. That one moment there, it's perfect.
Yeah, and if we continue following his story arc, which I think has probably one of the most profound story arcs in the film. Where he, as the film progresses, and he loses his son, and then he's left with just his daughter, and he gets very overprotective,
and he doesn't want his daughter seeing that guy.
Yeah, and it's not. It doesn't come from a place of like, don't
protective father.
Yeah,
like overprotective father.
It's from a different point of view where he's just worried about her well-being, not because of the guy being a creep.
He doesn't want her to have a. It's not like he doesn't want her to have a relationship with a boy, or any of that. It's
Yeah.
just more like he's just going into protective mode of
That's it.
trying to keep her alive.
And it's
Quarantine.
and we, you know, as you watch it, it becomes more prevalent. You start to notice the fact that it's not him coming from that point of view, that he just really wants to protect her.
Yeah.
And then it all comes together at the end with the end scene of the film, which, you know, there's no real climax to the film, but if you kind of think of it as emotional climax, it's probably this scene.
Yeah.
Where it's where they have their little ball scene, their prom scene, where he sort of creates a little prom moment inside the house.
Yeah, that's
where
right.
they're having a dance, and then he actually walks away and lets them have their moment, which is a really nice moment. I was actually, the fact that he walked away, that spoke, you know, to the audience in huge ways. That it really wasn't about him. It was about the disease. Yeah,
and it's cool. Like, I love those moments in film where it's obvious. They don't need to explain it to the audience. It's like where he would have a line like, "It's okay, you can see him now."
Yeah.
Or something so obvious like that. It's just unsaid, you know.
Yeah. He didn't even have to be there when they first saw themselves. She actually had to call to him and say, "Are you coming?"
Yeah.
You know? Like, he was having a moment watching the footage, but still.
Yeah.
You know.
It's great. I love that. Kate Winslet, I love her little arc in the story.
Yeah.
Just her
Very
on
abrupt.
the front lines and abruptly ending,
Yeah.
and then, you know, Lawrence Fishburne being responsible for putting her out there. But this is what's going on. You know, you got people out on the front lines trying to figure out how to tackle these things and
there's
how to
there's
deal
a
with
very
it.
close reflection between that first moment, for me there was, with that scene with Matt Damon, where he was not accepting, he doesn't quite come to grips with the fact that his wife has died. With this scene with Kate's moment where she got sick and then wasn't in the film anymore, and we were kind of like, all right, can we go see her? And and we don't quite understand, or don't quite, you know, come to grips with the fact that she
such a
isn't
major
in it
star,
anymore.
such
That's
an
right.
important actress,
just boom, she's out.
and she's just out. And it's kind of like, what? I need to see more of her. Like, there's got to be more. Yeah.
Can I speak to her?
Yeah. Come on. I'm not finished with her yet. Like, she's got to tell me some more information.
Yeah.
No. And Lawrence Fishburne, I could listen to him talk all day. Like,
He
the
was
way he can
amazing,
deliver that his dialogue. You know, he always plays really good government figures or bosses. Authority figures. Yeah, he just nails those roles. And I can just listen to him talk and talk and talk. So anytime he's on camera, I'm just like, cool. You know, you just do your thing, Larry. Keep going.
And Jude?
And Jude, yes.
Hey, Jude.
Yeah. He's another brilliant actor, you know. He's one that, you know, I used to be very hot and cold with him. Where I liked him in some stuff, and then I think I just watched Talented Mr. Ripley a couple times, and I just thought, nah, Jude Law's really good.
He's got a presence about him.
Yeah, he definitely does. Absolutely.
You know when he's on screen.
Yeah, artificial intelligence, AI, remember that film? Like, he can just tackle roles, and even if it's a small role, and still have such an important presence. Yeah,
especially, they're usually profound roles as well. Like, this character is quite interesting, especially when we reflect now on Corona. There's a lot of similarities between some of those people, you know, the sky is falling kind of characters. Yeah. That's kind of his character that he was playing. Yeah. And looking at coronavirus now, there is that similarities to those more extreme. Yeah, it's kind of like society. And it's kind of like he actually was right to an extent, to be on that level with it, and just to be like, this needs to be taken more seriously. Government's covering shit up. There's an answer out there. There's a vaccine there. You know, he's just, you know, prodding for the truth, trying to stir the hornet's nest. No one's wrong and no one's right in this.
Yeah.
It's just that.
What do you do?
It's complicated and it's scary.
How do you control society? How do you control the population? Not let them go into riot mode. Yeah. How do you at least hold on to civilization while anarchy's going on and chaos is happening at the same time.
That's
It's
right.
kind of like I don't even know how it happens, but this is kind of like when Trump recently kind of denied the severity of the virus, but only today or yesterday he came out and said it is pandemic and it, shutting off all travel, just like Italy and Europe and China and Australia. We're all shutting down planes and traveling to, which is amazing because has that ever happened before?
Yeah.
I don't know, not in my lifetime. I don't remember this happening where they've actually shut down international travel on this scale.
That's it. And moving back on the film for just a second, but we'll finish up. Look, I think the biggest thing that I took away from the film was that so much bad was happening, but there was so much good that still belonged there, and that society hadn't completely fallen apart.
It hadn't completely collapsed.
And that's the thing, like a lot of these Hollywood films is just like, that's it. We're all in tribes.
Yeah.
But this kind of, even with the amount of millions that died in the film, there was still, people were for the most part civil. There was a few scenes there where people were destroying the place, which is probably, that's expected. People
of course
react in those moments. But there was still that...
There's always hope.
Yeah, there was those stages where you can, in your lounge room, set up a little, prom moment. And you can dance and listen to music like any other day. Yeah. So just, there's little bits of hope.
Yeah, there's little bits of positive moments. And just quickly, coming back to Matt Damon's little arc, with Gwyneth Paltrow, his wife, finds out that she was sort of cheating on him while she was traveling. Very interesting kind of way to tackle the story because it's multifaceted and it's interesting and intriguing because the way they set it up, you kind of know she's seeing someone but they don't reveal it straight away, and it's like bit by bit, and then she finally dies as well, and that's another shock because it's like Kate Winslet's death as well. That kind of sets the tone where it's like, oh my god, a major star and she's out. And then they're basically cutting off her top of her head, getting to her brain, and it's just like, shit, this is what we're dealing with. This film's full on. And and I just love the way the film sort of wraps up at the end too, and with Gwyneth Paltrow, and it sort of explores the progression of the virus from the beginning phase.
It was restarted.
That's my favourite part, actually. It's just like how set up the whole film, and it's like from the animal to the animal.
Yeah, the bat and the bat pooed and the pig ate it.
I love that.
The
domino effect of that. And it's kind of very similar to the coronavirus as well, the wildlife thing and getting to humans, that crossover there. And that's
the thing, like, animals have done so much for society and civilization. As soon as we learned how to domesticate animals, they've done so much for us. But at the same time, there's a trade-off, and the trade-off is the prevalence of disease. And it's been around for centuries, ever since we started to domesticate animals, and that's going to continue as long as animals and humans live on this planet together.
Coexist. So maybe it's what happens, but
nature
just does its
control.
thing, and they always, there's a million and one probably, what do you call them, conspiracy theories out there. So it'll be interesting to see how it pans out and where we go from here.
We'll finish up. Make sure you like, subscribe, ring that bell. Subscribe to the podcast if you haven't already.
Watch my new video, Brandon Recommends.
Or on YouTube. Other than that, we'll see you next time.
Adios.